Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It's Friday, February 7th, and we are here answering financial questions that you have for us. Now, this can be wide-ranging. It could be a tax question. It could be a real estate question. It could be a retirement question. It could be an education funding question. Anything that's on your mind that has a dollar sign attached to it. Maybe it's a homeowner's insurance question. Boy, you got getting a lot of information about that after the California wildfires. So whatever's going on, we are here for you. We is me, Jill Schlesinger, CBS News business analyst and CFP, and Mark Talercio, who is also a certified financial planner, is the executive producer. And we love hearing from you. All you need to do is go to our website, jillonmoney.com. Click the Contact Us button, which is in the upper right-hand corner. And of course, let us know if you want to join us on the air live by checking the box. All right. So listen, it's cold. It's February. You know what I want to do? I want to talk to people who live in a warm, delightful place. We've got Jason and Karen on the line who are in Hawaii. Guys, does it ever get boring living in Hawaii? You can tell us the truth.
Once in a while.
Come on. No way. You live in Hawaii. You live in paradise, man.
It is a great place to live, but it's also a little island in the middle of nowhere.
Okay, fair enough. I never thought of it that way. You're right. It's like me saying I love New York, but sometimes it's just like I got to get the heck out. So what brings you guys to our airwaves today?
Well, we're both short-time listeners, although we've done a lot of listening in that short period of time. And we just have some questions about how we're doing, maybe possibly a future home purchase, and a little bit of asset allocation.
Okay, well, you're living in the wrong state to buy a home, but so maybe you'd like to move someplace else. Can I interest you in Louisiana? No. Okay.
No.
Tell us about what's going on for you. You guys both working full-time?
I work full-time. My wife works part-time.
Okay. How old are you, Jason?
I am 49, 50 this year.
Oh, that's exciting. And Karen, are you going to speak or are you going to let him speak?
I'm going to let him speak. I'm listening, taking notes.
Oh, I love that. I am the corporate secretary. I like that. And how old is Karen?
48.
Okay. You got that right. So that's good. Do you guys have kids?
Yes, one 9-year-old.
Okay. And what's your combined income, Jason?
Combined, it's about $500,000.
Wow. Okay. That's a lot. And you rent because you said you want to buy a house?
No, we own currently. We're thinking possibly of moving.
Oh, okay. Tell us about the house. How much is it worth?
The house is about $2.5 million. Hawaii prices, like you know, are crazy.
I know. Do you have a mortgage outstanding?
We owe $280,000. It's a 15-year mortgage at 2.125.
You don't want to give that up, do you?
It's a little tough.
Okay. Well, what would we have to buy to make you happy?
Essentially, any house in the state that we'd want to live in is pretty close to about the same price. Same price, maybe even a little bit more.
All right. So should I plan? Let's try to do this. Should we plan on $3 million? Is that the right price? Okay. So it would be a $3 million purchase to get the house. Like I'm not going to hold you to it, but I'm going to call it the forever house, the house you really want to be in for a considerable period of time. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. So on your $500,000, I presume you've got a bunch of money. Usually I start with retirement, but I'd like to start with non-retirement assets. What do you guys have that's floating around?
About $75,000 of cash.
Mm-hmm.
We have 529.
Okay.
That's
how
at
much?
415,000.
I think you're done. Are you having other children?
Yeah, no, that we've stopped. I really tried to front load it.
You did that. Mission accomplished. Okay.
Yes.
So cash 529. What's next? What do you got?
We have a brokerage account.
How much is in there?
The brokerage account is split into index and stocks, and the index and ETFs are about 3.2
million.
Yes.
Thank you.
And then the stocks are about 11.3
million.
What? Million. And please keep in mind that
Mark, by the way, he was like young couple-ish, house thing. I'm like, oh no. Okay, here we go. So we have indexes, index ETFs, and we have stocks. I'm going to keep in mind that like for some reason, you guys just happened to like fall into this. Did you inherit money or did you work at a company where you got a ton of stock? Like tell me, where did the money come from for real?
Well, let's just say that both me and my parents are first generation folks, and I think we're a family of squirrels.
That does not explain this amount of wealth.
A couple weeks ago, we had Ed from Philly with 10 million, and Jason just blew right by him.
Yeah, goodbye, Ed. Okay, so how much? Okay, so let's just go through this. Brokerage stocks, is $14.5 million accessible to you guys. Okay.
Yeah.
Next, what else you got?
Boy, what else do we have?
Retirement.
The rest is in retirement.
How much?
Tax deferred is 2.7.
Mm-hmm.
Roth is about 555.
Okay.
Million or 1,000?
Million. If it was 1,000, I'm sorry. If it was million, then
you would be like not calling me. It's okay.
Okay.
So pre-tax 2.7, 550 Roth. Okay, that's great. Okay. What else?
And then there's a after-tax IRA that's about 330.
Okay, after tax. Yep.
And all of that is in index funds at this point.
Beautiful. That's great. Are you managing this all yourself, like the stocks and the brokerage accounts and everything?
Yes.
Okay. You happy doing that?
Overall, yes. Although I think I'm a little too heavy in stocks.
Can I just go to the corporate secretary a second, Karen?
Absolutely.
I know you're listening. How do you just feel about Jason managing it, and would you be comfortable managing it if something horrible happened to Jason, or do we need to have somebody in the back pocket if you were like, oh, if he passed away, I wouldn't do this myself?
I think it would be challenging if I had to manage it all by myself, because I have not been tracking this, to be honest.
Okay.
And I've been just in this autopilot mode. So
it has served you well so far. I got to be honest with you. So listen, Karen, at this point, I'm going to say that you are both the corporate secretary and also the chief financial officer is Jason. But as the CEO, you can also say to Jason, we need a plan B if something happens to you, which is okay. So let's put that out there. So you got a chunk of moolah. Why are you hesitating about the house? I don't get this. Sell it and go cash out some stocks and move on. What's the big deal?
I think that's the most reasonable, but we kind of get stuck between, should we try to keep this house and rent it?
No.
Potentially, there's the answer.
No. Why are you going to do that? You're going to make your life more difficult? Why? You want to be a landlord?
No.
Sell the house. You're going to pay a capital gain on this house.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you buy it for?
$930.
All right. You're going to pay capital gains on it. Okay. So what? And then you want to reduce some of your stock position anyway. So in the stock account, the $11 million account, I presume everything has a big gain. Is that correct?
Yeah, that'd be pretty accurate.
Okay. Are there certain stocks where you have a very outsized position? Like, oh, it just so happens that I bought NVIDIA 12 years ago or something like that, where you have a huge gain?
It just so happens I bought NVIDIA about 12 years ago.
Stop it. Really?
Yeah.
I'm such a winner chicken dinner with that analysis. I'm so happy about myself right now. I would only be happier if I bought NVIDIA 12 years ago. Could I convince you guys? Again, this is, nothing bad. You're amazing, obviously. You make $500,000. I'm sure, of course you already coughed up the most important information, which is, I'm a first generation and therefore you probably do not spend a ton of money. You have a ton of money. I can't imagine what you spend on an annual basis, but, if it's, you're putting away a lot of money. Do you think you spend 20 grand a month right now? More or less? Not even.
We're probably 11 or 12.
All right, even if I said 15 grand a month, you'll be fine. How much longer are you going to work?
Well, that's the other question. And I don't really know.
Okay. It doesn't matter.
Could be a few years, it may not.
You could retire tomorrow. I'm pretty sure about that. I feel confident that I could make a retirement plan work at 15 grand a month, given the fact that you have all of this money. Mark, are you going to run a calculator for me, or are you willing to just say that because Jason and Karen spend like $0. No, I shouldn't say zero, but that, even if we had to spend 180 grand a year after tax, that the current 14, like $16 million could generate that. Do you feel comfortable with that, Mark?
You can cut that in half and I would still be comfortable. Yeah.
I mean, you really, it's shocking how great you are. Like, even if I said you're only going to pull 2% out of your invested assets, over time, and it's going to be fine. You're great. What is the NVIDIA position worth right now in total?
Close to $1 million. That's part of it.
So why not? Okay. You want to have an NVIDIA position. You did incredibly well. You got 10% of your stock portfolio almost in NVIDIA. Why don't we just cut this position down? Why don't we just say, sell 800 grand or you can sell a little bit. You can say 200 of NVIDIA, but why not cut down the stock position, raise the cash that's necessary to pay the capital gains? So big deal. You're going to pay 23.8%. So just think of a quarter of whatever you sell goes to capital gains taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Sell it and don't look back. Maybe, listen, you've got a lot of money. So I don't want to say you can't have like a fun money position in NVIDIA, but it shouldn't be more than 5% of your invested assets. So it would be fine if you said to me, I don't know, 500 grand, 600 grand, whatever, that, you can reduce the position, and that would surely make you like get down to like in the single digits of a position, raise the money you need to buy the house, sell the house, go do it. And with the other money, I guess what I'm wondering is, how do you feel about risk? I mean, you've taken on a lot of risk. You've been able to thrive. You took risk at the right time. Anyway, it's so interesting to me. I'm just trying to figure out where your head is around this.
I'm not entirely sure if I know myself.
Okay,
I had always kind of thought this money wasn't anything I would really need for a long period of time. And I was fine with being fairly risky. As I think about possibly either slowing down at work or not working at some time in the next few years, I'm a little more nervous.
Okay. Well, I am very, very comfortable telling you that it is obviously a situation here where we can convince you easily that you can do whatever you want to do, but you have to give yourself permission to do it. You have been incredibly fortunate in that you invested, you stuck with it. You probably, I imagine like in 2022, it must have been scarier. At the end of 21, the whole tech sector sells off. I'm sure was there a fear that you felt in that?
I bought more.
Man's a beast. I want to be Jason. What I think is going to happen for you guys is that you have to get on the same page. I hope you're both hearing this. Like, how's my corporate secretary doing? Karen, CEO, how are you feeling about this? Do you feel weird?
Definitely.
Really
uncomfortable.
Really? But it's good, right? It's kind of like, it's good, right?
It's good.
But it's also, it's weird because I know you feel fortunate. I hear it in you. I want you guys to understand that there are a lot of things available to you. I mean, look, this could be a case where you don't really need me to tell you this, but you need to convince yourself. So maybe you want to hire a fee-only financial planner to look at what you have and model it out for you and say, if you stopped working next year, like if you just stopped and you just wanted to enjoy yourself or you wanted to cut back, here's what that looks like. If you bought not a $3 million house, but a $3.5 million house, here's what that would look like. And, if you spent 5 or 10 grand today on that kind of a relationship, number one, I think it would be nice for Karen to have somebody that she feels like, okay, this is a human being. This is the kind of person I could talk to if, God forbid, something bad happened to Jason, but also to show you and prove to you that you can do whatever you want. I mean, it's an incredible situation to be in. I personally am I'm very wimpy. Mark knows this, that I wouldn't have all my money in stocks. I just wouldn't, because you already did the hard work. You've gotten where you've gotten. You already took the risk.
Yeah.
It's amazing. We're good. Why are we going to do more? And I wouldn't be afraid of paying taxes, So that's it. That's where I am. So I think it's time for you to make sure. And also, look, it's a ton of money at this point. Have you done estate planning?
Yes.
Great. Take your time, buy the house you want to buy, do what you want to do, but we need someone to prove that to you guys. And Jason, I know you know it on some level. Have you considered talking to somebody about helping you out with this, just in terms of the planning part, not the management of the assets?
Yes. There's somebody available through work that we will talk to.
I would do that. And I think that it is so important for you to do that. And I think that you guys are in incredible shape. I just want to see you take advantage of it and have fun. As you get used to it, then I think maybe you'll have other things to think about. Like, hey, you know what? We're never going to spend all this money. Let's try to give some money away. If you're charitable, should you have a donor advised fund? Would that be a place to put a low cost basis stock and pop it into a donor advised fund? Are you guys charitable at all?
We would like to be.
This is something that's a really wonderful thing. If you think about like your NVIDIA position, and you can say, okay, well, my cost basis, let's say I'm into it, that's $1 million. Let's say you invested 100,000 into NVIDIA and it's worth $1 million. If you were to just sell it, you get taxed on that capital gains, right? If you were to put that NVIDIA, let's just pretend it's the whole position, doesn't have to be, but while you're still making $500,000 a year, let's say that you put everything into a donor advised fund, you would get a full $1 million write-off of the money that you put into the donor advised fund and pay no taxes on it. The money goes in, it's now $1 million in a donor advised fund. You can give it away over time. You don't have to do it all in one fell swoop. And you don't have to do it with a whole $1 million. I'm just saying, if you're going to work with a financial advisor, I think you should mention, hey, we're interested in talking about a donor advised fund and how much money we could put in there and what makes sense for us. And, you're still young and hopefully you're going to live for 40 years or 50 years. So we want to make sure that whatever we do, we want to be smart today, but we don't want to make huge decisions today that are not going to allow us access to the money that we have accumulated. You're in amazing shape. Go buy a house. What kind of house do you want to visit, Mark? We have a house now in Hawaii. I feel good about it.
Something with the little guest cottage on the
exactly.
On the water.
Get that guest cottage going for us.
That's going to be a lot more than $3 to $3.5 million.
All right, so spend $4 million. Come on now. I feel good about it. What else can we help you with? You guys are in great shape.
It's a position that we never really thought we would ever be in. It's very odd. So
I hear that. I totally hear that. And so if everyone listening, no judgment, there's this weird situation when people just sort of are lucky about what has happened in their financial life. And we thank you for joining us. And we're not, listen, I feel so ecstatic for these kinds of things. I feel like, oh my God, you hit it. Something great happened. Let's make sure that you enjoy it and you don't sit on it. And, because it's there for you, it is one of those situations where I really just want you guys to be able to enjoy what you have done. Okay. Really. So, hopefully you can do that. And thank you so much for listening to us and calling us, being new listeners. We feel very honored that you have done so. Hey, maybe you don't have a $1 million NVIDIA position. Maybe you don't even have an account with $11 million in stocks and $3 million. Okay. I know all these numbers are fantastical to you, but you've got something. And some of the things that you're considering would just be similar, which is hey, what do I have? What's my asset allocation? How can I use my money? How can I be smart? All of these things are really important and we can help you with them. So go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, write us a note, and if you'd like to join us on the air live, just check the box. Mark will do everything else. Hey, you can subscribe to us on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your favorite podcast. Please leave us a rating and review wherever you listen. And it is Friday, so let's do some business. Our music is composed by Joel Goodman. Mark Talercio is our executive producer and king of all things web. We are distributed by Odyssey. We ask you to do something nice for someone else today. It's going to make that person feel good, and it's going to make you feel good. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you next week.